I suddenly have a really bad throat, and I blame Migos for this because they released an album that is 1 hour and 45 minutes. It's kind of funny with this because you'd think that a review for an hour and 45-minute length of an album, you'd have a lot to say, but I don't have much to say. Really, I don't. I just don't know what to say. This is just crazy. Why would they do this? I mean, they don't have enough variety in their content to release an album this long. Trap music isn't varied enough for this. It's okay with other genres, and there are rap albums that are really long too, that have a lot to say and interesting content. But trap isn't a genre that should ever go more than an hour long, or maybe even 50 minutes. But they did it. They did it. Why? Long albums aren't inherently bad. Like, they're not, really. There are some great long albums that have come out over the years. But the one thing about long albums is that how often do you get the time to replay them? And that's the thing I want to talk about with Migos, because their fans are probably more about the singles than they are about the albums, because that's kind of the way the culture is right now. And considering that they have called this album Culture 2 and the last album Culture, they don't really seem to know much about the culture. Oh, my voice. Oh. And I think that Migos do see themselves as like the sort of cultural impact in the hip-hop game and the trap game, because of how influential they've been. But I want to throw in a bit of a hot take or a controversial opinion, and say that I don't think they have been that influential. And the thing I think that, the reason I think that is because there's a difference between being influential and everyone copying your style. Now it is influential, but I think that Migos are different because they just got lucky. Like, they just put out a style of music very early on in the decade, and everyone just copied it. They saw it as a cash grab. It's not like a Kanye West who literally changed the game with his innovative sound, because Migos aren't innovative. They're just basically doing ad-libs. They're just not really talented as rappers. They're making basic trap beats. Like, they just made music that was easy for people to copy. I don't think that's as influential as people say they are. I don't think they deserve that credit. And this album proves it, because they are so far into their career right now that if they were so influential, they would have changed up their style and done something different and innovative. But they haven't. They haven't. This isn't different. This is just the same song repeated the whole way through. It's the whole way through. It's literally like the first 8 or 9 songs, the beat was the same. Like, the beat was exactly the same. You cannot pick apart any differences in the beats in the first half of this album. Like, literally the trap beat was the same. They were all doing the same thing. The hooks were just the same. They repeated the same words on the hooks. Quavo would come in the background and shout a random word at the end of every line. Like, it was just the same every song. And then in the second half, I will give them credit because there are some differences in the beats. But the thing is, I can't give him too much credit for that because the content is nothing exciting at all. Like, the content doesn't vary up really. It's either about having money, it's either about girls and stuff. Like, it's just the same every song. But it's the sung auto-tune hooks on this album that really get me, man. They're just so awful to listen to. Like, I don't get it. I just don't think this is even like worthy of putting on a party, because the beats aren't banging enough. Like, that Offset and Metro Boomin and 21 Savage album had more bite to it than this. This is just stale, generic trap beats with barely any hooks, really, because the hooks are so boring and just sung badly. Like, it's just nothing. I do think Offset is like easily the best member of the group. He's got the bars, he rhymes pretty well. But on this album, he doesn't really demonstrate the best that he's got. It's just a bit of a shame. Like, he doesn't carry the album, even though he's by far the best member. Like, he just kind of fades into the background and doesn't really add anything that I don't care too much about. I know he got a lot of hate for that, like, homophobic lyric that he wrote. But it still doesn't change that he is easily the best member. And honestly, rappers say controversial things all the time. So I don't know why that one line was targeted as like being a bad line when literally every rap album is like controversial in some aspect. Like there's always something that rappers say that's what makes people love rap so much, is because of like the sort of punk attitude that it's got. And I don't really know why he was targeted that badly for what he said. It's still though, he's way better than Quavo and Takeoff, because they're just so boring to me. Like I don't care about grown men talking about having too much jewelry. Like who cares about that? Who cares about three men talking about having jewelry? Like really? This is what we've come to? What? Pretty much every song they reference how much money they have and how much they've got in their bank. Like there's always one line that references it, and again it's just like it comes out, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, you're not saying anything. Like literally they talk for an hour and 45 minutes and say barely anything. How have they done this? This is amazing. This is honestly like something that needs to go down in history, because I just can't believe they did this. And one thing I do want to say as well, like it's quite clear that they did this length of album for the streams. Like I know that streaming is a way to kind of get albums popular now, and of course the more songs you have in an album, the more streams you're gonna get. So that is one thing that people do need to realize as well. Like they probably did it for that. It wasn't for the culture. They didn't do this for the culture. They did this for the money. Like that is what they did. You need to realize this. It's just an album that shows trap is completely out of ideas. Like even Migos, that everyone has copied for the past 4 or 5 years, can't even string together some unique ideas. Like they can't. That's it. This is all they've got. Like for 24 tracks, this is what they do. The same over and over again. The only track that's good, I would say, is Stir Fry. And guess who produced that beat? Pharrell. Pharrell, of course, produced that beat. And Pharrell is always coming through with unique ideas, and it has got a really good beat on the song. Like it's the only track that stands out on the album because it's the only one that sounds anything different to the others. That's it. And I like the 2 Chainz feature as well. I think 2 Chainz does show that he's got quite a good personality, and he comes through with some charisma a lot of the time. But that's it. Like from an entire album of 24 songs, I have 2 songs that I think are worth your time. That's it. And one of them is only because someone else is on the song. Like that's just, oh my god. This might not be made for people that listen to albums all the way through. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they just wanted to put out a lot of tracks to kind of get people picking and choosing songs that they may want to play every now and then. But just as an album as a whole, as an experience, this was so tedious and so boring. I don't think anyone out there can honestly say this entire album is worth hearing all the way through. Yeah, this was unbearable to me. Look, I think there are some okay trap songs and trap albums that come out that I would listen to, that are worth anyone's time. Drop Top Wop, the Punkin' album by Maxo Cream, Rodeo, Travis Scott. Like there are every now and then certain albums that do sound great in the genre, but I think Migos broke trap music. They came together and collectively broke trap music. They made it more unbearable than it's ever been before, and I can't believe they did it. It's an easy E for me. I don't think there are any redeeming qualities on this, honestly. But if you like this and you managed to get the whole way through, then let me know what you thought. But tell me how you did it. Tell me how you did this without wanting to cry. Subscribe to the channel if you did like this review. Tell me what you thought of this album, and have a good day. Have a good day.